What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Ryan Green, and today we're talking about homelessness. Do you ever feel like you're dependent on your parents or your friends or just old beliefs? Well, how do you get that off? How do you shed those trimmings, that fat, that bad animosity? What do? You become independent. And to me, independence has always been about stepping out of that bubble, out of that circle that's been holding you back, all the things that have been containing you, all the things you've been dependent on. And to me, homelessness, it's a matter of being fully independent so you can find out what really matters to you, what's actually important, and then you can come back into the world with more grounded beliefs and just motivations and whatnot. That's homelessness in a nutshell. And so, when people hear about homelessness, they think about a bum on the street, and maybe that's a right assessment. But to me, homelessness, it's more so, it's the philosophy, it's the ideology, not the lifestyle. A homeless person is somebody who they're not stuck in one place. They can go wherever they want. They don't have the security of that house, of those living conditions. And so all their needs become much more basic in terms of food, water, warmth. Those are the necessities. And everything else becomes very much a luxury, something that obviously you'd like, and it's become a basic need of living nowadays, like toothbrush and deodorant. But when you're homeless, and you stop being dependent on things and you're fully independent, then what you actually need becomes much more basic. And that's a great place to build off of. Because if your expectations and your wants and needs are like way up here, then it's really hard to meet those. And everything above it there's not much else there. You can never really be that satisfied because the minimum is so high. When you're homeless and you're independent, the minimum is so low that everything else is just so marginally in relevance. It's so much more. It's so much more significant, Look at this, for example. People who are vegan and they eat freaking kale and carrots. You think when they have a potato or some pasta, imagine if they had a steak. The amount of taste, the amount of savoriness, it would be so overwhelming. But people who just do that on an everyday basis, it's just like, it's nothing. That's the norm, You have to raise your standards in terms of what you need, because you'll set the bar. And when the bar's so low, in terms of just I'm talking like basics, Like if what you need and this is what you really need is food, water, and warmth, then imagine just having the ability to use your cell phone, to have Wi-Fi, to use a TV, to have more food, to live anywhere, to have a roof over your head. A roof over your head becomes a luxury. And I feel like the only way you can establish these needs is by actually going out into a situation where those are what the needs are, You can't live in a mansion and be fed grapes by waiters and expect that you're going to change in philosophy and just motivation, You can't do drugs and expect to not want more drugs. You have to stop doing them, and you'll find out what's actually necessary and what you actually want. And so, if you want to lower your standards, or at least if you want to have such high expectations and desire, then go be homeless, or at least minimize. That's the practical application, is to be a minimalist. When you don't need so much, and it becomes down to those basic needs, everything else becomes more meaningful, and that makes your life better, makes you happy. And that's why I choose to be homeless. That's why I choose to be a minimalist, because everything else becomes so much more, and you actually see that you have so much. I'm Ryan Green. That's your daily fill on being homeless. If you have any questions, leave them down. We'll talk about something else next time. Stay tuned. Cheers.